When the ever-successful entrepreneur Rasheeda was told of Jock's hidden affair and the shocking pregnancy that resulted from it, she believed that everything was all right. Jock's life was falling apart, but did anyone really think it would fall apart so fast? Imagine finding out that you are expecting and their entire world was rocked by the revelation of Rasheeda's pregnancy with young Jock's child, which they had kept a secret. It wasn't just any secret though. It was a dirty, scandalous affair, and they clung to it because it didn't end there. The man you're married to is still not the father. When Frost, Rasheeda's husband, discovered that Jock and Rasheeda had an affair, his entire life was flipped upside down. As soon as he found out, he said, "Kill Jock." Yes, things rapidly got serious, but what was worse was that Camilla, a close friend of Jock's, had her own game to play while alerting Jock that she had plans of her own, ****. That would turn everything upside down again. But this was just the start. Jock's fight for survival took precedence over Kirk's growing rage, and things quickly spiraled out of control with violence, betrayal, and surprising twists at every step. Now who's in charge, and what will this do to? The tragedy of Rasheeda's shattered life is far from done. What matters most is whether Kirk will choose to permanently end his relationship with Jock or to try to restore his family. The narrative begins with young Jock, a successful rapper, entrepreneur, and all-around industry participant, living what appeared to be the perfect life. He thought Despite having a successful career and a lavish lifestyle, a storm was brewing behind the scenes that would radically upend his life. Known in the entrepreneurship scene as a social media queen and a loyal wife to her husband, Rasheeda was at the center of this mayhem. Everything seemed to be going well for Kirk Frost till the bombshell was thrown. It was revealed that young Jock, not Kirk, was the father of Rasheeda's unborn child. No one could have imagined the sudden revelation of a terrible affair that had been kept under wraps. With only one phone call, text message, and whisper in her ear, Rasheeda's life, once steady and safe, suddenly fell apart. But let's pause for a moment to consider what transpired prior to this and how Jock, Kirk's professed friend and business partner, got himself into such a mess. It was a pattern, a breach of trust, and an unexpected plot twist rather than a single mistake. With his reputation for charm and business savvy, the Jock had been keeping this a secret for months, thinking that no one would find out about his affair with Rasheeda. His life was full of things, but he didn't expect Rasheeda's husband, Kirk Frost, to be caught off guard. Imagine the fury that would have exploded when Kirk found out about his original reaction, a fury so intense that the only thing he could have said was, "Kill Jock." You heard right, kill Jock. Kirk Frost, who had been married to Rasheeda for years and had built a life and a family with her, was now facing the ultimate betrayal. Everything he had fought for and known, his marriage, his family, his world, was falling apart in an instant, and it wasn't just the affair. Although Rasheeda and someone who was supposed to be in his inner circle felt deeply betrayed by Jock, his supposed friend, keeping this information from him, Camilla, a close friend of Jock, wasn't just watching this happen passively. She had her own interests in mind. Her role in this was anything but simple. She wasn't just trying to save Jock from Kirk's wrath. She was also looking out for herself, and she knew exactly what was at stake, not just for Jock. The schemer Camilla saw an opportunity in the scandal and was defending her own position, ensuring that she would win if this story went public. By carefully preparing her moves and playing her own game, she made sure she was in control of the story. But what was her true objective? To clear Rasheeda's name and protect Jock and his reputation, or to divert attention and protect her own reputation? Her intentions weren't entirely clear. Camilla wasn't merely a supporting character, she was the one pulling strings. Camilla knew that everything was going to blow up into something much bigger than anyone could have imagined, but nobody, especially Jock, could have prepared for the full force of what was about to happen. Background: Camilla was moving her pieces on the chessboard to make sure she was the one left standing as Kirk's rage boiled over. Camilla began to change her plans. Then, after a verbal altercation, Kirk and Jock engaged in a violent clash of emotions, ego, and betrayal. When Kirk finally caught up to Jock, it was not merely a phone confrontation or a warning. It was a full-on assault and violent showdown where Jock was forced to face the consequences of his actions. Was so furious that he threatened Jock and even physically assaulted him, unleashing all of his pent-up anger in a vicious encounter that no one could have foreseen. Jock, who had gone through many highs and lows in his life, now found himself in a situation where survival, rather than fame, money, or music, was the most important thing. Not to mention the other people affected by this mess. Rasheeda, the woman whose life was on the line, was the one caught in the middle of this affair, while Camila was playing her own game, trying to control everything from the shadows, and Kirk was out for blood in this nightmare he created with his own hands. Rasheeda was shaken by the realization of the truth, and everything she had worked for and her entire identity were now in question. Would she help her husband Kirk, who had promised to protect her, or would she stick with Jock, the man who had cheated on her but was also the father of her child? Every decision she made from now on would be scrutinized. It wasn't a fight between Kirk Frost and young Jock that ended with a few punches and a dramatic walk-off like some VH1 reunion show. Rather, it was personal. She had a family to protect, a business to run, and a life to rebuild. But how do you rebuild when the foundation has been destroyed by betrayal? Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, it did. Wasn't just angry. He was heading to war, and Jock wasn't just physically hurt. His entire reputation was being trampled underfoot and presented to the public with a side order to cancel him. However, don't forget the main Camila. Yes, the person who claimed to be Jock's friend and support him. She flipped more quickly than a politician in. Seeing an opening during election season, Camila thought, let me finesse this scandal like a pro. Camila started making discreet phone calls to gossip websites, blogs, and questionable anonymous tip lines, not to help Jock but to sow seeds and weave the tale. And no, she wasn't doing it in Jock's favor. Kama and Rasheeda's PR have been collaborating for several months. She is aware that if word spreads and the public turns against Rasheeda, it will be the end for everyone. She is doing housework. So what did she do? The scandal was transformed into a soap opera by Camila. An unnamed source told Fake Tea Daily she went full-blown Olivia Pope with a twist of Mona Scott for the sake of protecting Rasheeda's brand. Twitter went crazy as the public consumed this as if it were Sunday brunch drama, and she published a false report claiming that Jock had used emotional instability and work-related stress to trick Rasheeda into getting pregnant. Wow, this woman really said that Jock had deceived her. Kirk Frost's anger was evident as the drama went viral, with some people photoshopping Rasheeda with Jock's face on her baby bump and others posting fake Kirk mugshots with things like arrested for whooping Jock, like a drum set. There was more drama for young Jock than his haircuts because of the whole felony of Camila playing chess while these boys play Uno. The situation only got worse, according to another anonymous insider who claimed to be Kirk's barber's cousin's Uber driver. Kirk went missing for 72 hours, locked his phone, skipped business meetings, and was seen driving around Atlanta with a baseball bat in the trunk, muttering to himself, "Ain't nobody playing with me no more." Yes, it was that real. But the public wanted answers, not just rumors, so Jock decided to do the unthinkable and do a live Instagram video showing signs of extreme stress, bruises, and heavy breathing, as if he had just avoided Kirk again, and he started yelling at everyone without any apparent reason. Rasheeda was present and knew what Liv had done wrong, so in less than 10 minutes, he not only threw Rasheeda under the bus, but he also confirmed the pregnancy and made it seem like she was the one chasing him. "I've been through a lot, and nobody is perfect, but I wasn't alone in this." Camila left the stage holding. As a quick way to limit the damage, she attacked bloggers using a fake audio recording in which a man who sounded like Jock said, "I got her pregnant on purpose. That's how I stay in the family money." Was it really Jock's voice? The internet didn't care. This was not just a Twitter controversy. Fake headlines like Rasheeda Pregnant by Jock Kirk goes berserk. Urban Daily Trash, Jock versus Kirk, the war for Rasheeda's womb. Drama Insider, and Rasheeda was ghost silent, with no posts, appearances, or even a reposted skincare have made it popular. Promo, who usually released a new reel every 36 minutes, was now missing, which further complicated the mystery. Other backroom sources claimed that Rasheeda was staying at a private wellness retreat in the hills, perhaps at the request of Camila and her crisis team, but nobody knew that she was hiding from Kirk as well as the media. As one source put it, Kirk has been acting like a whole reality TV detective, talking to himself, pulling receipts from 2019, and man, even asked if the baby was born. The couple's friends said that Kirk had become unstable, obsessed, and paranoid, and that he had been following her texts, interrogating her every action, and even setting up cameras. He might not have realized how much time had passed, and as Camila's power grew and Kirk lost his sense of reality, she began meeting behind closed doors with Rasheeda's business partners to discuss sponsorships and silently clean Rasheeda's image while disparaging Jocks. This was a masterful act of sabotage with a hint of calculated betrayal. She even convinced Rasheeda's team to release a fake statement saying that Rasheeda would be temporarily taking a break to concentrate on her health, family, and spiritual peace because of current stress and private matters. In other words, we're hiding until the fire goes out. But keep in mind that isn't over. Kirk was still going downhill, and he reportedly hired a private investigator. This means that he was ready to start subpoenaing people, like in this Law and Order. For the ATL Scandal Unit episode, the PI wants to find Jock to be sure the baby is his and to see if he's paying off anyone. But Jock had a strategy for his defense, and he had teamed up with Lisa Gray, a strong attorney who once got a member of the Love and Hip Hop cast off. At this point, no one could tell who the real villain was, and Kirk lost it and went full WWD. The hook for a six-figure fraud case and a pyramid scheme in the same year was iconic. And as legal threats flew, the city started to hum with rumors that Kama was running the entire circus, that Rasheeda would side with Jock, and that Jock would sue Kirk for assault. Using hashtags like hashtag Team Kirk, hashtag Protect Rasheeda, hashtag Camilanu, and hashtag Jock, fans started taking sides as if it were the Atlanta version of Infinity War. The public became divided over Jock, the messy secret daddy, Camila, the puppet master behind the scenes, or even Rasheeda for keeping quiet while chaos broke out in her name. Camila said, "Yes, we did receive the receipts," in an exclusive leaked email that went viral within hours, just as it seemed that the scandal was coming to an end. Camila contacted a major podcast network and claimed to have hours of unreleased audio, text, screenshots, and video footage that could completely clear Rasheeda's name and destroy Jock's career. She had actual files, audio screenshots, and even surveillance footage from Jock's studio, including one that showed a young Jock pacing back and forth. Forever, she was playing hardball, and now the city was trembling because Camila had just pulled the pin on a bomb that threatened to blow the entire scandal into flames. These leaked emails weren't a bluff. When he muttered, "I had to do what I had to do. Rasheeda isn't going to say anything," Camila would keep quiet if she knew what was best for her. Yes, Camila knew that the Jock had just given his enemies the golden ticket, and she set up a live press conference with a podium, real chairs, and lights. This situation has gotten out of hand, and whether people like it or not, I'm going to tell the truth. She dropped 3 bombshells, and the Jock did manipulate Rasheeda Camila. Sis genuinely thought she was in the midst of a scandal while everyone else watched Camila stand tall and face the storm she had secretly sparked. Jock was guilt-tripping her in the text, saying things like, "You owe me this, Rasheeda." When Rasheeda was emotionally weak, Camila said that she had confided in Jock during a trying period in her marriage, and Jock took advantage of to become close to Kirk while she was being monitored. "I held your secrets before." The world went into meltdown mode. Podcasts uploaded 5 emergency episodes overnight. Blogs crashed from traffic. Twitter ignited a digital wildfire, and Kama confessed to bugging Kirk's office. Yes, she had audio recordings of Kirk yelling, plotting to ambush Jock, and even trying to silence him in one of Jock's former partners. Rasheeda had better not remain silent after this. Be the villain we needed goes deeper than Jock versus Kirk Kama running this city. Then, just when it seemed like things couldn't get any wilder, she broke her silence by posting a 3-minute video on her personal page, which was filled with raw emotion, devoid of any glam or makeup. She said, "I never thought my personal preferences would become a circus. I'm no longer hiding, even if I made mistakes and was missiled and injured. All I'm doing is safeguarding myself and my future." Rasheeda then declared that she was pregnant. Nor did she justify Kirk's aggression, nor did she praise Kama's slyness, nor did she deny that Jock was the father. Rather, she stated, "Everyone in, I'm revealing my true self now that this disaster has revealed theirs." As she ended the video, the internet fell silent. But let's be clear that this was just the start of the final round, and the Jock's camp was in ruins due to legal threats from Camila, Kirk, and even sponsors he had partnered with. When one brand fired him within 30 minutes of Rasheeda's video and another deleted all of their joint posts, it was like watching a digital eraser in real time. When the reputation-driven athlete threatened to sue Kama for $2 million if she didn't retract all she had said, Kama laughed so hard that she went live again and said, "Let him try. I receive more dirt. I will reveal all if he sues me. Jock had better thank me for keeping his other baby mama drama a secret." The audience retorted, "OP." To make matters worse, Rasheeda's video showed Kirk as just as toxic as Jock, if not more so, and the man who once screamed, "Kill Jock," was now facing backlash, losing money, and possibly even facing a restraining order, as suggested by Jock's lawyer. The video of him threatening Jock went viral, exposing his anger management issues. "I'm going to therapy, and I'm asking for grace, even if I can't forgive you. I admit my wrongdoings, and to the fans, I let wrath get the better of me." Kirk even publicly apologized in a long handwritten apology message to his wife, Rasheeda, that read like a Lifetime movie script. Posted a photo of him sitting in a therapy session with the caption, "Healing begins now." By this point, though, the public wasn't buying it, and Kirk was starting to be seen as the ticking time bomb husband, at the same time that everyone thought Camila had one of her secrets, a former. In addition to wanting Jock to step aside because she had a contract with the rival artist with whom Jock had a falling out, an assistant came forward and revealed that Camila was not just protecting Rasheeda, she was also taking kickbacks from bloggers to give them drama. And the worst part was that Camila had dated Jock years earlier and was still in love with him. Now the roles were reversed. It's not hip-hop and love, it's love and hit jobs. All of a sudden, Camila's credibility was ruined. Brands she worked with stopped inviting her to their podcasts, and Rasheeda unfollowed her without saying anything that would have silenced her. Camila made headlines again when she disclosed that she wasn't a savior, but rather a sour ex-Kirk Jock. Was more raucous than any live video. Now we have 3 broken friendships, a ruined business circle, a baby on the way, and fans who are fully divided. Jock has vanished and is allegedly staying at an undisclosed location in an effort to rebuild mentally and legally. Kirk is now committed to therapy, but is still on thin ice, and Camila, a queen with a broken heart, is still on thin ice. The question that everyone is still asking is whether this is all a tragic mess of personal decisions or if Kama is playing a long-running game to take everyone down in one go. Theron and Rasheeda allegedly focused on her pregnancy and her future, removing herself from the spotlight permanently. Regardless, one thing is certain. We learned loyalty from this scandal, so now is your chance to speak up. Was it right for Rasheeda to keep quiet during all of this chaos? Did Kama pull the strings only in retaliation? No one is leaving this clean, and Atlanta is still talking, watching, and waiting for the next bombshell. Which side are you more on, Jock, Rasheeda, or Camila? Please share your thoughts about young Jock in the comments section below. If you want more outrageous celebrity stories, crazy scandals, and the truth that no one else is willing to say, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell because I promise you a fulfilling experience. What comes next will blow everything away. This isn't just gossip. War is on. Greetings, greetings, greetings.